put a focus on this, because look at now those live feeds that we started with, everyone's doing it. It's a fucking thing now, okay? And we don't need to take credit.
Good.
We don't need to take the credit, but it's I mean, we were where we're supposed to be when the time came, like we heard the call and answered. I got lots of videos I want to show with get your opinions on today. One has really been tripping me out, and I'm going to jump into like the crazier one. We can get into the politics later, I think. I don't know, maybe we should ease them into it. I don't know, but they're saying there's angels on the ground. Have you heard this? The fucking IDF soldier, and then their feet swelled up and they couldn't move. And like, is this
No, I didn't hear about that. Oh, what?
No, it's like, I don't know if it's propaganda, man.
Why would they put that propaganda? If anything, they would be like, it's all good gravy. We're doing good.
Well, propaganda for the other side, right? And then. So what happened was, as soon as they went across the border, these Israeli soldiers said their feet fucking swelled up. I've been watching this. It's not one report. I heard the first report. I'm like, okay, whatever. And then I saw the video, and I'm like, well, that could have been another video from another time and shit like this. And then today, it was blowing up, and there was videos and people talking about it. I'm like, holy shit, this fucking happened. So they're calling them ghosts. The Israeli soldiers were screaming and yelling. They said their fucking feet swelled up, and they couldn't move. And other soldiers came to help them. And they said it was like getting attacked by ghosts. And they were fucking spooked, man. Like, they were scared shitless. I got the video queued up here. I'll show you.
That's what one message that we've been trying to tell everyone, that, who's going to, it's going to be God that's going to bring victory. It's going to be God that's going to free Palestinians.
Supernatural things, right? I felt it too.
Well, it is a holy war. Well, that's what they're, saying. They're saying it's good versus evil. We'll see who's the real evil pieces of shit, and then we'll see who's the good people who are on the right side. We know everybody could see this protests going around everywhere. Everybody could see that the Palestinians are the ones that are being oppressed, and Israel is the oppressor, right? And when I mean Israel, obviously there's good people in both places. There's bad people, and there's bad people within the Palestinians.
People are waking up ever since COVID. Ever since COVID, we've been learning how to wake up and question the narrative. And when the media and everyone's saying one thing, like, how come the first thing that all the media said was like, do you condemn Hamas, right? Why isn't it, do you condemn Israel?
Exactly.
Why can't you flip it on it? Like, this is the best place.
No, you can flip it, bro. You can flip it. But the thing is, they don't let you. And it should be flipped, because it is actually them that are doing all these atrocious acts. You know what I mean? It is them. You know what I mean? Every time they say, anything, they blame it on Hamas, but what they'll do, they'll go attack the Palestinians. Make up your mind. Is it Hamas or it's the Palestinians? Who's your fight against? If it's Hamas, then the Palestinians, you guys can work together to get rid of these terrorists. You know what I mean? But what it is that Hamas is controlled by Israel. They put them there. There's so many documents too. It was registered by a Jewish, Zionist and a Muslim sheikh whose son ended up being a spy for Israel, and then converted to Christianity, and he's on TikTok and all these social medias, trying to say how bad Hamas and Palestinians are.
I've seen those. Yeah,
he's like a total brainwashed. That was their person. They took him. They probably did MK Ultra times 5.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah,
brainwashed the fuck out of him. Him. And then Hamas, since the inception, has been controlled by Israel. It's been funded by Israel. Whether it's directly funded through Israel or just funded through other of their crony, Arab leaders or whatever, they're all working they're all intertwined somehow, right? And the truth is coming out. People are seeing the truth, and
I heard a lady say today that if you say the words or said the words that Israel has a right to defend itself, you have blood on your hands. And I agree with that. And why can't you say Palestine has a right to defend itself? Why do they lead with that? Right?
It's hilarious. Israel has the right to defend itself. That was the first words that came out of all the politicians' mouths. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Unequivocally condemn, and Israel has
it
the
was
right to
saying that the Palestinians don't have a right to defend themselves. They don't get human rights. They're the only ones who don't get it, is what they're saying by that statement.
No,
unequivocally. It means that one gets them and the other one doesn't. It's not equal.
It's always been like this, bro. Every time when they're talking about wars, it's theirs, whoever they're supporting, soldiers. It's called
At least
a war.
We're waking up.
The other people, they're terrorists.
Yes.
They're militia. They're this.
That bullshit's not working like it did in the 90s, though. It's not. And let's check out this video of these Israeli soldiers. I want to get your opinion on this. I think you'll like it.
Something happened to the Israeli soldiers as they were about to enter North Gaza.
Bro, I believe they've been attacked by angels, bro. The angels are on their side. Look at this, bro.
I just want to give everybody a kind of update on the situation here. So I'm in Jordan, so we have kind of quicker and more accurate news coverage, and some news coverage which you guys don't get in America. So before a couple of days, we don't know exactly when, but some of the Yehudi soldiers, they tried to enter Gaza in a ground incursion, and when they were on the border of Gaza, all of a sudden, like half of the soldiers that were trying to enter, their feet just stopped working. Like their feet got deformed, and they were laying on the ground and just screaming out of fear. And the remaining soldiers were trying to help them. That's one thing. Another thing, this is now news from yesterday night. Before they not that long before they cut off the lights, electricity, everything, internet, the Marines, American Marines, tried to enter, and the Mujahideen met them in battle, and they won. They pushed them back and captured some of their soldiers. And then as far as at night, after they cut off internet and everything else, the ground incursions that the Israeli army and American army tried entering Gaza, the Mujahideen again were successful in winning against all the skirmishes against them, and they destroyed 30 or more of their tanks and armored vehicles. And one thing that a spokesperson of the Israeli army, he made a statement that he said that we are fighting ghosts. So, subhanAllah, Allahu A'lam, which soldiers of Allah that Allah is using to fight against them, that they are feeling like they are fighting ghosts. And just another thing, something that I heard also within the last 4 or 5 days is that from the Israeli army, there was some soldiers saying that as the Mujahideen were approaching them and coming closer to them, and they were about to engage in fighting, they felt like a great presence, like a great fear that something great was about to come, like a big number or a very strong force was about to come and fight them. And it turned out that it just appeared that there was only one Mujahid who came in and fought them and overwhelmed them. So there's many things that have been happening that inshallah shows that the Nasr of Allah is with us. And the Israeli soldiers and the Yehud are really scared. There's even a video of a soldier who was refusing to go and fight, and his commanding officer was yelling at him. And a bunch of them are scared and they don't want to. They're actually there's a bunch of mutinies that have been happening within the Israeli soldier ranks. So alhamdulillah, as far as the fighting front goes, Inshallah, we have the upper hand. But of course, they are continuing to bomb nonstop the civilians of Gaza. May Allah make things easy, bring all the Muslims success.
I mean, crazy. Oh my gosh.
That is crazy. Could you just show the beginning part again of the beginning part of the video of the Israelis? I want to kind of just focus
Something
on it
happened
closely.
to the Israeli soldiers as they were about to enter North Gaza.
Bro, I believe they've been attacked by angels, bro. The angels are on their side. Look at this, bro.
Oh yeah, there's a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, I watched it a few times.
They're screaming louder than even the Palestinians that they're bombing. You know what I mean? Like little kids aren't even little kids didn't even scream as much as these IDF soldiers.
They've been going AWOL and fucking ditching out, man. I've been watching. So a lot of them have Instagram and shit. Okay, so here's the cool thing. Most people don't realize this, but Instagram has been huge, and X, which was Twitter or whatever, but Instagram, which is blowing my mind. So a lot of the soldiers have Instagram, okay, and a lot of them, the photographers. That photographer I sent you today, and I
Motaz, Motaz, yeah. I've been following a lot of these photographers, man. They're brave, man, and they have big followings too, which is I'm like kind of surprised.
11 million, 12 million.
You know, that's what I'm wondering too. Is that how are they able to have such big platforms and still be able to stream, and they have lives, they have 100,000 people watching their lives and stuff like that, but I guess they're protected under international law or something like that. That's why.
Yeah,
just like during the elections, Instagram couldn't ban Chris Sky's account, and as soon as
it's not. Yeah, it is the international law, but it's law. It's you got to have money to fight for that shit, right? You got to have someone who's going to cover your ass and pay your legal fees and make it a pain in the ass for any government that fucks with you, right? If you're poor, they don't give a shit.
Yeah,
you got to have a bunch of people that are willing to fight for you legally. But what do you think about that? What do you think about the spiritual aspect with these angels? Like, what do you think it's ghosts? Do you think it's for? I'll tell you one of my theories.
I think it's angels. I think it's angels. Yeah. Like like how, God could make angels. Like in the form of human.
What's the prophecy about the Euphrates River? And there's two angels underneath that river. When it dries up, they get released, and they're. I don't have my Bible on hand, and I don't feel like going through that point. But do you know what I'm talking about? There's supposed to be two angels released in the Euphrates River.
That is more in the biblical. We say that when the Euphrates River dries up, that there'll be like a big mountain of gold or treasure, right? And that 90 like out of every 100 people that go after that gold or treasure, that 99 or 90 of them will die, meaning I think it's 99 of them. So basically how you want to like interpret that, is it physically that there'll be gold that all these countries are going to go there to fight for it, or is it that some people have translated that to the vax, right, saying that that is what the Euphrates dries up, meaning that a lot of these people will be going towards this kind of gold, I guess, you know what I mean. But another thing is that we say that the Antichrist will he'll have a river of a river of water, right, fresh water, and then of fire or lava, whatever you want to say, right? So it says that his water, right, is actually fire, and his fire is actually fresh water, meaning that don't be deceived, right? So I take that more translation and I put that towards what we just experienced, you know what I mean? That a lot of people that took this thinking that it's good and it's going to protect them and it's going to do all these good things, and then what happened?
They're dropping
like flies. And not only that, now the Canadian government is just trying to push the blame on Pfizer.
If I may, Dr. Z, there's one theory that I am fucking enjoying the thought of, and that's the one where it's like the Masons have a giant that they like DNA. They brought a giant back, and he's underground, and with the smoke in Gaza and with all he's coming out and he's kicking ass. And nobody sees him, but he's on the good guys team.
There's so
many. Giant would be cool. I mean, fucking like Godzilla, King Kong knocking jets out of the air, fucking helicopters. Fuck you. Hey, let's go.
100%, bro. Like, who do they think that they're, who are they messing with? They're trying to mess with, like, you want to mess with God? Like, look, who do you think is going to win? You know what I mean?
Check this.
İsrail, biz de seni savaş suçlusu olarak dünyaya ilan edeceğiz. Ve şimdi bunun hazırlığı içindeyiz.
രക്തപങ്കിലമാണ് ഫലസ്തീൻ കരുണ പറ്റിയ ഗാസ
We're calling to stop the attacks on civilians in Gaza. We're calling for an agreement. We're calling for peace. We're calling to cease fire. Continuing the war will not bring security, not to the Israelis and not to the Palestinians.
Yeah, I mean, you can't say that all of those people are, terrorists and like Hamas supporters. I have never heard one person say, go Hamas, go Hamas.
Well, that's common.
Not a single person that said go Hamas. It's all about Palestine. They keep on blaming this fucking Hamas, and we're all getting sick and tired of this bullshit. They're hiding in tunnels. They're doing this. They're making documentaries of these fucking tunnels. You think that we fucking believe your bullshit?
You know what the plan is? You know what the whole goal is? To push them from the north end into the south end. It's not very big. I threw up on Facebook today a map of Edmonton. They have them with Edmonton and Winnipeg and Toronto, all the big cities. But Gaza is small. It's like a downtown core of one of our major cities, okay? And they're pushing them from the north to the south to get them to the border with Egypt, which is trying to get aid across. And they're not allowing that border. Israel controls that border. And the goal is, I think, is to just push them right out of their own land. And because they know once they leave, it's done. They don't get their land.
Bro, they don't even want to push them out of their land. Their intent and has always been to kill them, okay? Because they know that if they push them out of the land, then they can come back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not easy though. Not always.
No, but I'm saying that if they're gonna go, they're gonna get training, they're gonna go fight, whatever, They put their job, and it's very obvious from their from their strategy to the way they're conducting the war. You know, they're pussies. Okay, they're gonna fight their wars behind a wall or from a remote control. Okay, look at these friggin' cowards. Okay, you know what I mean? That's what it is. That's what you know what they're all sitting there crying, and because their legs are swollen up. I've seen a girl literally holding her heart or her insides in her hand, a little girl, not even crying or screaming. Okay, all these kids, it's from God. I look at my kids, they cry if the internet buffers, you know what I mean? like seriously, these kids aren't even crying. They're bleeding. This one girl, her knee bone is like outside, and you don't hear him cry. You don't hear him yell, nothing. But you have these these grown-ass men.
They're committing crimes against humanity, and they're testing fucking weapons on an innocent population right before our eyes, if you want to watch it. Or you can look away and probably be on the wrong side of history. You're probably going to be like, oh shit, one day for not listening.
I got to cut it short because I just have to go do something, but I'll be back.
Can you throw that feed up in the background?
If you want to just send me the link.
It's not up from yesterday in there?
Oh, okay. The same one from yesterday? No, the private chat got erased.
Oh, no, it's not in there. Okay, I'll play a video and I'll send you a link and then we'll do
that. Yeah.
You might want to watch this and give your opinion on it. He's pretty passionate.
I'll hear it, but I have somebody waiting for me. So
okay. This is from today.
Okay.
It's an Nakba. It's a Holocaust.
In terms of not being able
what the world are waiting for. We are human beings.
Mr. Hania,
I want to tell Joe Biden and Ursula von der Leyen and Sunak, 10,000 people killed. Is that enough? 3,000 and a half kids killed. Is that enough? How many more you want? What did we do to the USA? To Britain? What did we do? We are a human being. We are civilians. We look at our kids and we cry. Our heart is broken. Our hearts are dead. We can't do anything. We are helpless. We're just waiting for a bomb. All around us, we're hearing the sounds. It's very scary. People are very scared. Girls, boys, they are shaking when they hear the bombs. It's too loud, too strong. It can't be described. What are you waiting for? Do you want to starve us to death? Or do you want to kill us? What did we do to the world? We have been going through this for the last 75 years. What did the world do for us? Nothing. I just want to tell you, all the mask now is taken off and you are showing your real face. You're not a human. You don't have conscience. Because if you do, you will ask for a ceasefire now.
They have to realize and understand helping the state of Israel is not in the favor of Jewish people. The Zionists say they want to make a safe haven for Jewish people, so they want to help Jews, they want to help the Zionists. But this is untrue. the most dangerous place today for Jewish people, not to speak for the Palestinians, but even for Jews, is in the state of Israel. Helping Zionists is not in the favorite of Jewish people. If they want to help the Jewish people, do the example what the Turkish president do. Withdraw your embassy from there. Come out and declare very clearly we are against the state of Israel. We are against occupiers. We have to bring peace on the region. We Jews, we hope and pray for the peaceful dismantlement of the state of Israel in full, not a two-state. We support a one-state. From the river to the sea for the Palestinian people should go back. From the river to the sea. And then Jews and Muslims can live together in peace. And we hope it will be soon in our days. And then we can live in Palestine and all over the world with the Muslim people together in harmony, in peace, like we lived many of the centuries. We hope it will be soon.
Okay, audio's been messed up there a bit, but basically, if you turned it up, you heard it, I think. But that's happening all over. So they took over Grand Central Station in New York. It's been going on everywhere. There's Jews. They're like, I told you you're not supposed to do it like that. I'm not. And they're like, so did you know, little fun fact here, the guy who founded Zionism was an atheist. And technically, Zionism is like a democratic theology. They're God's special assholes, basically. This is, it's how it goes. But they, just because you're Jew doesn't mean you're a Zionist. There's a big difference. And, we're all here to learn. This is what you're here for. You're either here to learn or the end's going to come, is how I see it. Because a lot of people were saying recently, like, maybe it's just a hoax, man. And I'll say the same thing I said during the convoy. And it feels like fucking COVID in the convoy for me. And I'm pumped up because it's up to us. It's our choice. It's our choice. And paying attention and learning and growing is what, we're here to do. So tomorrow's Monday, so it's my Shabbat. And I'm taking the day off. I'm going to have a relaxing day. But Dr. Z, you can probably catch him, see what he has to say. He might keep the show going. He's working on getting me a feed right now. I sent in the private message, Dr. Z, if you can get that. Oh, thanks for telling me I'm muted. Am I muted right now? Not muted right now. Okay. I'd like to go sit and listen to, the firefights floor to floor and wonder, like, so I don't even want to talk about what's going on. I'm glad people listened and came to watch the show the other night. We all sat and huddled together with no heat and, just lost their family members and, trying to get on the level with those Palestinians as best we could. I went and watched all the massacre tapes again about Israel, and it's just fishy, man. It's all fishy. And you're making a monster. People aren't inherently violent and fucking hateful people. They're not like that. You got to take a child and you got to breed them into that. And yeah, but yeah, these are international crimes. We got to fucking stop somewhere. This is ridiculous. But all the Jews now distancing themselves. You got to check out this girl today on Instagram. She's an Instagrammer or TikToker. Anyways, influential in the States. I don't know her, but she fucking. When I saw this, I'm like, that's what a girl looks like who thinks for herself. That's what it looks like. She thinks for herself. It's the most attractive thing in a man or a woman is, Fucking, I'll show you what's hot.
When did you start to ask yourself the question of what about Palestine?
Hello, American Jew here, and happy to answer this question. Like most Jews, I was raised being told that Israel was our land. It's always been our land. I was told this at Hebrew school. I went on birthright. I knew about the West Bank and Gaza, but even on birthright, I was essentially taught that Israel was just defending itself and that this situation regarding Gaza and the West Bank and the occupation there was just self-defense to protect Israelis. I was told that Israel was the only place that and I could not rationalize this in my head as just defense anymore. The human shields argument didn't make sense when it came to things like shutting off food, water, and electricity. Then I started researching Netanyahu. I started to think about, how did October 7th even happen in the first place? I've been to Israel. That place is built like a fortress. I read things. I'd, seen the Free Palestine movement. And there was always a question in the back of my mind.
I fucked that up. I went forward and back.
How is it possible that this many people could support terrorists? There was always that question of, am I being told the full truth here? Anytime I tried to have that conversation with any of my Zionist friends, it was complete denial. They're terrorists, this is for the protection of Israel, etc., etc. And even at the beginning of, after October 7th, I was blocking anyone that was saying Free Palestine. I was repeatedly told that they're all anti-Semitic, that they all hate Jews, and that every single one of them thought that Israel needed to be wiped off the face of the earth. And I've done a lot of deconstruction even in the past couple weeks, and there were a lot of things that opened my eyes to the narrative that I had been taught was dangerous, one-sided, and not correct. The first thing that helped me to start to deconstruct was I started to look at the people that were unequivocally 100% pro-Israel, Israel's doing nothing wrong here. And I realized that there was a lot of people in that crowd that I don't normally agree with, a lot of people on the far right, and there was a lot of people that were known anti-Semites in that crowd. I started to think of the alternative reasons why people were supporting Israel. There was a video being shared of Joe Biden from years ago saying that Israel is the best $3 billion investment that America has ever made. That really got my wheels turning. I realized that a lot, probably all of these American politicians, whether it's Joe Biden, whether it's Trump, you name it, support Israel because it is an investment for America. It has nothing to do with protecting Jewish people or caring about Jewish people at all. It has to do with money, the benefits of the allyship that we have with Israel. I started to realize that there was quite a few politicians that were pro-Israel that are extremely anti-Semitic. I saw a video of Marjorie Taylor Greene calling Jewish Voices for Peace, which is a Jewish group that was protesting at the Capitol to cease fire. I saw her call that an insurrection. Marjorie Taylor Greene was quoted as to saying that all Jewish people have space lasers that control the weather. She is a known anti-Semite. I started realizing that a lot of people that support Israel were just Islamophobic. A lot of Christian nationalists support Israel because they think it's a biblical reckoning. All of those things kind of solidified in my mind that Zionism and Judaism are not the same. I started to think about those alternative motives that I mentioned, such as Israel being an investment for America, and realizing how biased the Western media is, and how they were painting their own specific narrative. And then I started to notice that a lot of Jewish people were anti-Zionist, including Orthodox Jews. In fact, I saw a video of Orthodox Jews saying that Zionism is against Jewish teaching altogether. So I decided to, instead of blocking out the Free Palestine people, I decided to actually listen to them. They essentially became so loud, and I was seeing Jewish people supporting this movement, that it just didn't make sense to me anymore that they were all supporting terrorists. Then I started to see what was going on in Gaza. I was seeing what on the news was being described as a humanitarian crisis. But on social media, where it's not so biased and you can hear both sides of the coin, I was seeing babies being blown to bits. I was seeing food, water, and electricity, aid being cut off. I was seeing a totally different story than what the media was saying. I couldn't rationalize the idea of cutting off food, water, and electricity and preventing aid from going in to a population that is 50% children. I learned that Hamas is only about 0.02% of the population there. I looked at the children in Gaza and saw the horrors. The imagery is horrific. And I could not rationalize this in my head as just defense anymore. The human shields argument didn't make sense when it came to things like shutting off food, water, and electricity. Then I started researching Netanyahu. I started to think about, how did October 7th even happen in the first place? I've been to Israel. That place is built like a fortress. I read that he chose to fund Hamas instead of the PLO, which was a much more secular group that was willing to make peace with Israel. I saw videos of Netanyahu saying that he would never support a two-state solution, that he never wanted Palestinians to have equal rights. I heard that Egypt warned him. And then I realized that either this was the biggest failure of all time, or Netanyahu let this happen. I also watched Bassam Youssef, I think I'm pronouncing his name right, interview with Piers Morgan about this issue. I came across Jewish Voices for Peace, which was calling for ceasefire. I realized how many Jews opposed this retaliation that was going on. And that was when I just completely changed my perspective. I just could not justify what was going on anymore. And I felt like I was lied to, that I was swindled, that I was brainwashed, essentially. And it just totally shattered my worldview. So for all of those people out there that are speaking out about Palestine, keep speaking out about Palestine. You are changing people's minds.
so sad for the Palestinian lives that were lost. We're so happy because they finally live in peace. I just want to say this very clearly. The blood spilled is not just on the hands of the Israeli government. It is on the hands of every single celebrity who endorsed this genocide. It is on the hands of every single company who silenced their employees for speaking out. It is on the hands of every single person who uttered the words, "Israel has the right to defend themselves." One day you will all wake up and realize you were on the wrong side of history.
ما خلونيش شيء يا حبايبي، ما خلونيش شيء يا بابا العشاء. انت عليك
يا ريت انا اروح عند ابوي كمان.
السبعة مع امهم، السبعة مع امهم، السبعة مع امهم يا الله. اذا بتتعلم من امك اسميك يا الله يا الله يا الله.
You are God and you are terrorists. So you can't make anything. All the world are with us, not with you. Yes. Oh, yes. I will stay there on my land. And you will go. I will stay there. Go. Go from my land. Go from my land. Now.
Dear human, I don't know how long these conversations are going to go on, and I don't want them to go on for much longer because it's becoming absurd, honestly. There is 1.1, forget the population, there is 1.1 million kids in Gaza, in a very confined place. Numbers are confirming the fact that every 5 minutes, a kid is murdered. Every 5 minutes, a kid is killed by one of the strongest armies in the world, using some of the most obnoxious, insanely disgusting weapons in the world, using white phosphorus. I even watched a report on television for a little girl who's supposed to be getting comfort from adults. She's comforting her father, and I couldn't figure out, she's saying in Arabic, she's saying, Baba, Baba, I'm fine. I'm fine, I'm fine. And she wasn't fine. She was not fine. She was severely injured. She was severely burnt. And she's in hospital. She's being hospitalized in one of the worst hospitals I've seen. A very bad hospital, not because it's bad, but because there are no supplies. There's nothing. And she's comforting her father. And I'm thinking to myself, why is a child comforting an adult in a situation like that? I wish I didn't ask that question. 2 seconds later, I saw her father, or whatever was left of him. He's trying to make sure that she's okay. But I figured that she's comforting him because the idea of losing her father, and that's everything she's got left in this world, was actually more painful than the pain she's going through. She was okay with the burns. She was fine with the injuries. She was fine with the terrible hospital that she's in, but she does not want to lose the last member of her family. And humanity is okay with that? Honestly, are you? Dear human?